team I was on. Yeah. They got 4 25-point scorers on this team. So, hell yeah, I think they're going to be a contender, man. They're going to be a great team to watch.
Okay, that he's comparing this year's Sixers team to his Warriors team. And he's saying, look at the amount of 20-point scorers. They have 4 25-point scorers on their team. So why is that not a super team? I guess, what is the definition of super team now? How are we looking at this? Because many people have said this is not a good take. KD is not right in comparing the Sixers to the Warriors.
But the Warriors were already a championship team when KD joined them. That's the difference. LeBron James and Jaylen Brown are now on a Sixers team that are still, quote unquote, in the process. They haven't won. This iteration of what they've been trying to do, they haven't won. So it's completely different than what Kevin Durant is trying to say.
Question for you on that. Does players' choice matter? What I mean by that is Kevin Durant chose to join a championship team with the Warriors. LeBron James chose to join an all-star team with the Sixers, but that had never won. Tarek Skubal did not choose to join the Dodgers, but it clearly is a super team getting another super player. How do you look at that relative to players' choice? Like, do you blame Skubal for joining a super team?
No, you can't blame him.
Not his fault. He got traded.
Yeah, it's out of his control. I can't blame him.
I think the difference here, and Michelle brought it up, with the Warriors had already won a championship by the time that Durant arrived there in the summer of 2016. I mean, they're coming off the heels of losing the finals to the Cleveland Cavaliers, but the 76ers haven't won since 1983. They shouldn't even be favored as the best team in the Eastern Conference. Did we forget about the New York Knicks? It's not a foregone conclusion like it was with the Golden State Warriors that already had their big three that had won a championship together in Klay, Steph, and Draymond. They'd already had the formula, and then they add Kevin Durant, and it's a foregone conclusion that this team is going to win the next 2 titles, which is what happened. With the Dodgers, that's a team that just won 2 World Series. It feels like a foregone conclusion. You add quite possibly the best insurance policy ever, one of the greatest pitchers ever, reigning 2-time Cy Young Award winner in Tarek Skubal, to a rotation that's going to get back Blake Snell, get back Tyler Glasnow. Maybe Shohei comes back and knee is not an issue, but regardless, like, the team's already loaded and stacked, and they've won already. The Sixers haven't won anything. They might not even win their conference. Like, I get what he's saying in terms of talent, but it's an apple and a watermelon. It's sort of argument because of the way that he's constructing it, comparing it to a team that was already made by the time that he joined them.
I would love, all fair points. I would love to try to define this though.
Define super team?
Yeah, because how many times have we used that terminology over the last couple of days? Non-stop around Skubal, right? Mm-hmm. And now we have KD sound to go along with it. So is it you had to have won before? Because when you're bringing up the Heat,
I know, and they didn't. Yeah.
No, they did. They did win, just not with that group. I mean, Wade
sure,
won.
but like it's that's the caveat here. Like, I think it's you win with the crew that you add to. It's not like they had won.
So okay, super team is,
but it's not. They didn't win with Wade, Bosh, and LeBron by the time they constructed that together.
So a super team is you've won with the crew that you're with currently, and you add a Hall of Famer.
Like luxury piece, like something that.
But a luxury piece could be looked at as anything.
How about superstar? You add a superstar.
A superstar to me is a luxury piece, like a high end. If you already have superstars on your team, you're adding, like, Tarek Skubal is a superstar to a superstar lineup.
Kevin Durant was a superstar to a superstar lineup.
The Chiefs adding Kenneth Walker.
But they were out of the playoffs last year.
Win last year.
But they were out of the playoffs.
But they've won with this crew. That's why I'm saying we throw around super team. I think it's a fascinating discussion because it can't just be a luxury piece or an add-on. Like, I think about the Yankees in the 90s and into the 2000s. They were so good. They won with that crew. And there were so many times. Like, I remember one year they added David Justice. And I'm like, God, he was awesome for them. He was once a superstar, but not at the time they added him. Is that like a super team because of that? That's what I'm saying. Like, the Chiefs have won with that crew, and they added this Super Bowl MVP.
I haven't looked at the DraftKings odds this morning, but I would venture to guess that, some are not going to even look at them as favorites to win in their division this year because of the AFC West and Denver and the Chargers.
Well, then we have to add another caveat, right? We have to say,
which is
the favorites to win something going in. You've already won with that group, and you add a superstar.
Well, that's why I don't feel like the 76ers fall into that category. They weren't the favorites to win before they added Jaylen Brown and before they added LeBron James. And the odds will tell you that the Knicks are still favored to come back and repeat out of the East. I mean, the 76ers got a lot better, and they might win a championship, but that doesn't make them the equivalence of what Durant had joined back in 2016 at all, by any means. Like, it's still a giant unknown, and it's a team that hasn't had success since 1983 in terms of winning the big thing.
You guys are, and Courtney, I thought you were going there. Like, you guys are missing the biggest thing. This is KD's way of trying to justify his decision to join the Warriors. Like, that's all it comes back to. It's like, oh, when I did it, it was unfair. Yeah, because you guys were winning, and they were just in the finals, and they would have won if, Draymond Green doesn't get suspended, right? Like, that's why all that stuff, if we look at it differently. This is a collection of really great players and one of the greatest players coming together and trying to see if it's going to work.
Well, okay, I'm a big KD fan. I truly wish he would just simply say, did you guys watch the Warriors? Do you know how fun that brand of basketball is? Do you realize that they were based and predicated on two things, and it's not what you think. They were predicated on defense and ball movement. And you find what superstar out there in the history of the NBA does not love a team that will defend for you and pass to you. They were made up perfectly, as I personally view basketball. I want you to play defense, and I want you to move the ball. The Golden State Warriors were a soccer team. The beautiful game, that's how they played. There's a reason watching soccer is so pretty, because it's defense and ball movement, and that's what that team was. I wish KD would just simply, instead of doing what you're suggesting he's doing, just say, who wouldn't want to go play for that team? It was the most fun I've had in multiple years playing basketball. I feel like if the masses supported his decision more, he'd be back on the Warriors, where it's where he should be. Right now, I think he should be on the Warriors.
So he let public perception dictate what he did with his career?
I don't understand how anyone could look at that and say that is not an enjoyable way of playing. It was awesome. It was awesome. He left that to go play with Kyrie and James Harden?
Because he wanted confirmation bias that he could do it on his own.
And everybody was dogging him.
No
for the
one has
decision
ever
of
done it
joining the
on their own.
Warriors.
No one has ever done it on their own. No one. There's not been a single player.
Not even Michael.
Michael tells you, go watch Last Dance. He credits Scotty like crazy.
And Rodman.
Yeah, and Phil. And Horace Grant. And Kerr and Paxson hitting big shots.
He always credited his teammates.
Of course. He may drag them through the mud while crediting them, but there is a level of credit. There is a level of credit. And so to me, if Nuno's point is correct, this is a justification move. Kevin Durant, I'm a huge fan. You don't need to justify anything. That team would not have won without you in the years you were there. They won before you, but not in the years you were there. And anyone in their right mind, basketball-wise, would kill to play with that group.
The debate over what defines a super team is interesting because talent alone should not determine the label. A team can have several stars and still need to prove that those pieces can actually work together and win at the highest level. The biggest difference between past super teams and the current Philadelphia group is the level of proven success. Golden State had already established itself as a championship team before adding another superstar, while Philadelphia still has to turn its talent into postseason results. This situation also shows how context matters when comparing teams. Having multiple elite scorers creates enormous expectations, but chemistry, health, coaching, and roles can ultimately determine whether a talented roster becomes a championship team or simply an exciting collection of stars. There is also an interesting element to the discussion surrounding Kevin Durant and his decision to join Golden State. Years later, the move remains part of the conversation because people still debate how much that decision changed the balance of the NBA and whether it was viewed fairly at the time. At the same time, Durant's impact on those Warriors teams should never be minimized. Regardless of how talented Golden State already was, his scoring ability, efficiency, versatility, and playoff performances were major reasons the team remained dominant during his time there. Ultimately, the most important test is what happens once the season begins. Philadelphia has the talent to become one of the most dangerous teams in the league, But until those stars stay healthy, develop chemistry, and win meaningful games together, the super team label will remain more of a debate than a proven reality.